White House release published Friday, June 13, 2025. What they are saying. President Trump stops radical environmentalism to generate power for the Columbia River Basin combined. President Donald J. Trump has revoked the Biden administration's memorandum on restoring fish populations in the Columbia River Basin. The previous policy would have affected secure and reliable energy sources in the region. Key administration officials, members of Congress, and industry leaders have voiced support for President Trump's decision. Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum said the administration is committed to keeping energy affordable, reliable, and made in America. He stated that President Trump's action protects 4 critical hydroelectric dams along the Snake River. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright emphasized that the Snake River dams provide valuable electricity to millions in the Pacific Northwest. He said taxpayer dollars will not be spent dismantling critical infrastructure or on policies that raise energy prices. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick said President Trump's actions will give families access to reliable, affordable energy and support farmers, fishers, and producers. Acting Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works D. Lee Forsgren said the Army Corps is ready to work with federal partners to advance American energy dominance and provide benefits such as flood management, navigation, hydropower, water supply, and recreation. Catherine Scarlett, Chief of Staff for the White House Council on Environmental Quality, said the council stands ready to coordinate with agencies to save millions of dollars and support reliable energy sources. Senator Mike Crapo of Idaho said President Trump is listening to local stakeholders and following sound science. He called for a collaborative approach to salmon recovery that includes all regional stakeholders. Senator Steve Daines of Montana said the Snake River dams support agriculture, provide reliable energy, and are vital for transportation. He thanked President Trump for revoking what he called a damaging policy. Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming praised the decision as a way to unleash natural resources, create jobs, and strengthen national security. She said removing regulatory barriers will benefit all Americans. Senator Jim Risch of Idaho said the Biden administration's agreement ignored the essential role of the dams. He welcomed President Trump's return to what he called sound science and common sense. Representative Cliff Bentz of Oregon said he has worked for decades to protect the Columbia River hydropower system. He thanked President Trump for revoking the Biden memorandum and protecting the 4 lower Snake River dams. Representative Russ Fulcher of Idaho said revoking the Biden memorandum stops an effort to bypass Congress and protects critical infrastructure in the West. Representative Dan Newhouse of Washington said removing the dams would have threatened power reliability, raised prices, and hurt grain exports. He thanked President Trump for his decisive action. Idaho Lieutenant Governor Scott Bedke said the lower Snake River dams are essential for irrigation, energy, and market access. He supported President Trump's decision to end what he called a harmful deal. Mike Seifert, President and CEO of the National Grain and Feed Association, praised the Trump administration for rescinding the 2023 directives. He said the dams are critical for transporting U.S. grain and oilseeds to global markets. Seifert noted that one barge tow equals 140 rail cars or 538 trucks, and this infrastructure cannot be easily replaced. He warned that breaching the dams would have harmed the agricultural value chain and rural economy. Jim Matheson, CEO of the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, said President Trump's announcement helps preserve affordable and reliable electricity in the Pacific Northwest. He emphasized that hydroelectric power keeps the lights on in the region. Matheson stated that as electricity demand rises, it is crucial to maintain access to dependable energy sources like hydropower. Kurt Miller, Executive Director and CEO of the Northwest Public Power Association, called the withdrawal a necessary step toward energy reliability, affordability, and transparency. Clark Mather, Executive Director of Northwest River Partners, said it is time to work together for solutions that protect salmon and maintain affordable hydropower. He criticized the previous agreement for devaluing hydropower and said his group remains committed to working with all stakeholders for science-based solutions. Neil Maunu, Executive Director of the Pacific Northwest Waterways Association, said the debate over dam breaching has blocked partnerships needed to improve salmon populations. He believes it is possible to support both salmon and a strong economy. Michelle Hennings, executive director of the Washington Association of Wheat Growers, said Washington wheat growers depend on the Columbia River system for transportation, irrigation, and reliable energy. She stated that these benefits would not be possible without the lower Snake River dams. Hennings expressed support for working with policymakers to ensure dams and salmon can coexist, using sound science and reliable data. Thanks for listening. The full source material for this summary is in the description below.